One last thought on the patterns of questions I've been asked since this Charlie Kirk thing and how much the narrative changed once we found out who the shooter was, right? Because I had been in the middle of saying they're not going to be successful at making him a martyr. So when I came back and said, and we see they're not going to be successful. This is an important thing for analysts to do, by the way, show you when they've been right. It's not intended as an I told you so. It's an intended as here's the validity on which to believe me the next time, right? Because part of what you're doing as the intelligence team is building the soldier's confidence in you, that you know how to best predict what they might encounter, right? So I made that video, right? Here's why I knew the things I knew. And somebody says, okay, well, but fine. But that would have been totally different if the shooter had been somebody who fit the other side's narrative of who they wanted it to be. But like, again, it's interesting when you're outside of the world of analysts and predicting of the future. It's easy to forget that we're not just doing this for funsies and because we like to hear ourselves talk. We're doing this because this is our job and we have a bunch of information and we're making our best predictions on it. So I always knew that the shooter was likely to be a straight white man on the right because I knew where it happened. And most importantly, that's who's doing this kind of violence. And I know this because this is my exact area of expertise. Extremist violence is exactly where we end with the culting of America, which brings us to where we are right now in our country. So, just this thing to keep in mind as you're doing media literacy and judging who you are learning from. Understand that like the people who are in this day in and day out have a lot more information at their fingertips and in our analyst brains than you're probably considering. Have a day. You can pre-order Culting of America attached here.